All right, so if you bought one of Smart Choice RES's homes, congratulations on your purchase and thank you. As you'll notice in many of our homes, we do a butcher block island countertop. It's kind of become one of the signature things that we do in many of our projects. But it's always important to not only just have something nice, but also to keep it nice and maintain it. So the process that we use for a butcher block is a very traditional type process. So I was just going to show you today what has been done to it so that you can maintain it and keep it beautiful for years to come. And as always, you do have our information, so if for some reason you run into problems or a question, feel free to give me a call. I will be happy to walk you through the process, but I thought I'd make this video so that you'd know how to do it in your own time. So just to talk a little bit about the butcher block itself, it's a walnut butcher block. There should be information that we gave you as far as a handout from the manufacturer itself, as far as some of the maintenance type items. But the items that I have here today are made by Howard. These products are actually available through Home Depot. Very easy to get, super inexpensive. I think this one was $8 and this was $8 or $10 as well. And they just have different purposes. So the very first one is the cutting board oil. It's basically food grade mineral oil, and it is what we use to season your project. So what I mean by season is that originally when we do these butcher blocks, they come unfinished. So once we get them all sanded and installed and in place, then we go ahead and apply this product in several coats. It took about 1.5 of these for about a 5-foot island, just to kind of give you an idea of how much oil sinks into these. And that's what gave it its rich color and a real base for the finish. Now we're going to get into more of the top coat. So this is the butcher block conditioner, also by Howard. It also has mineral oil, but also in this one it actually has waxes as well. So because of that, this is what is going to help kind of be the protection for the water and kind of the day-to-day use. And you will probably need to do this on your butcher block. I probably say monthly or as needed. It's not a difficult process, it only takes a few minutes if you want to keep it looking nice. And go ahead and kind of show you what we've been doing. So this product does tend to settle a little bit. Like I said, we've already went through with the seasoning with the oil and everything, so I don't really need to show you that process. Basically, you apply it on there, allow it to sink in for about 20 minutes, you'll notice it absorbs into the wood, and then you wipe it off clean and kind of just polish it with a paper towel. Nothing super special here. You're welcome to wear gloves if you like, it's just mineral oil, it's not too strong. So for this process, what we're going to go ahead and do is open up the cap, and we'll start putting it on there. If you notice, it kind of has a jelly-like consistency. And don't be shy. At least for me initially, this is going to soak up quite a bit, but for you, it probably will not take that much. One of these would probably last a normal homeowner close to a year, so it's not like you would need that much. I just have a paper towel folded in quarters, and then as I smear it on, you'll just look and you'll see that it's just kind of a thick, like I said, like a jelly type consistency. And at least initially, I'm just going to be rubbing it into the wood. Really, when you start really rubbing it into the surface, you want to go along with the grain of the wood. Right now, I'm just moving the product around. But you'll see the dry spots. They stick out pretty significantly. And you just want to be sure that it's kind of coated over everything. So the way I like to do it is I'll go ahead and do it on the whole top. Make sure everything gets coated. This stuff doesn't really have much of an odor to it. And I should have left some of this with you on the house as well, so you should at least have some bottles to be able to reference there. And like I said, if you run into problems, just be able to see on the sheen of the camera or not, but we're able to get basically a little bit of the product everywhere. It should look like there's no dry spots. It should look like it's nice in there and thick and heavy. And that's okay. That's the way we want it to be, especially in this early on process. For me, I put it heavy because I know it was going to sink in quite a bit. For you, you might not need that much. In fact, it could be a little bit wasteful. So once I do all the whole top, I kind of take some and make sure that I get some on the bottom or sides as well, especially on the end rings. All right, and it looks like I go back and hit a dry spot or two, make sure everything looks good. And now, we just wait. So we'll give it about 15 minutes or so, And you'll notice, and during that amount of time, what will happen is it'll just start to go ahead and to dry up. You'll notice certain parts absorb more than others. That's perfectly normal. So just taking our paper towels again, remember to wear rags or wear gloves if that's what you want to do. And what we're going to start doing is basically going to be wiping it off. So at this point, we're not adding any more products like we were earlier. We're just simply wiping it off. What I like to do is kind of go over the whole thing first, so that way any excess could go on some of the drier areas. Make sure you get your edges good, especially the end. Alright, now that I've kind of got it all smoothed around, just start kind of going through dry spots. And you'll notice as you go through it that there's less excess product on there. That's what you're looking for. It'll have a little bit of a sheen, but it won't hold that sheen for too long. Ends up being kind of a matte finish. Forget your edges. One last one. And it's good to have some good pressure on this. And make sure you get all the excess. Going along with the grain. You'll notice as you get down to the end, your paper towel or microfiber rag, whatever it is that you're using, won't have hardly any product on it at all. That shows that you finally got it all. And that about does it. So you can see it didn't take too long. If you can see kind of the sheen, it still has a little bit of a light color gloss to it. That'll dry just as now it's a real thin product on there. So you probably want to leave it alone for about an hour or so, just depending on temperature and humidity. And then it'll be good for another couple months or so, just depending on how often you wipe it down. And it's fine to use a water rag, just try not to leave water in it long term. There is also another way that this could be finished. This is more of a traditional butcher block finish. We can always do a polyurethane over this. It will be a little bit more durable, but at the same point too, it kind of scratches and it has much more of a sheen to it. So it kind of just depends on what kind of finish you're looking for. We feel like this is, even though maybe a little bit more maintenance, it's actually a better finish over time. So that's why we choose to use this. If you're doing, if you want to redo it, that's simply fine. Just get a sander and sand off the top and the sides, and you can go ahead and apply a polyurethane finish to it, and that would work as well. That's something similar to what would be on kind of a kitchen table. So hopefully this will help you to be able to maintain your butcher block and have it looking great for a long time.